Hey everyone, welcome back to AFTV and another In Focus video. This is our fourth of our 5-part mini-series. You've seen us talk about Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel Jesus, especially after that injury that I think we all found incredibly disappointing. And we wanted to look into that video, how we could address, what Jesus has added to this team, but also what we would need to do in his absence. And now I want to have a look at Alexander Zinchenko, what difference he's made. And as you can see in the title, it's very much how he's improved our midfield without even playing in it. Now look, there was a big debate between me and Robbie around where Zinchenko was going to play. A little bit more on that a little bit later, but I just want you to know that I'm not going to ignore that I might be wrong on that one. But let's come to that in a second. Let's just go back all the way to Alexander Zinchenko's kind of history growing up. And this is one of the things he said when he signed for Arsenal. He said that, first of all, I'd like to say that this is a boyhood dream come true because I was a massive fan when I was a kid. Since Thierry Henry and a young Cesc Fabregas was playing here, I was just enjoying watching those games, that Arsenal. And obviously I started to love this club, so I'm excited and I cannot wait to play for this amazing club. I'm ready for another challenge. I'm not here just to waste my time and the time of Arsenal, because the club is always in front of everyone. He has incredibly high standards for this football club and he's incredibly happy and proud and honoured to be here. We've seen that in the way he's conducted himself in a lot of ways, Zinchenko. The way he celebrates goals. I mean, who could forget when William Saliba scored that goal at Bournemouth and Zinchenko's reaction? Just the way as well we've heard him speak in the press, or we've heard sort of things in reports about fourth isn't the standard, it's about challenging for the titles. This is a guy who's got an elite mentality, and you don't play that many years for Manchester City and Pep Guardiola if you don't have the right mentality, and he's taken that to Arsenal. Now, I thought he'd be getting more games in midfield. He's been playing predominantly left back, and I think that also just kind of shows that having grown up as a midfielder, I don't think he's as bothered as maybe a lot of people would think he is about where he plays. He just wants to contribute and give his all to the team. And we're absolutely seeing that at the moment. Now, there was a debate between me and Robbie. There was money on the line as well about whether he was going to be playing as a midfielder or as a left back. I want to take you back to this conversation we had in our welcome video in Orlando, me, Cecil, Curtis and Robbie, about Alexander Zinchenko. Have a listen to this, see what we were saying back then about the signing. I don't know if he transforms us, but I think he's going to play in midfield. I think he's going to be an upgrade on what we have in
You're still on this midfield thing?
He's playing midfield.
Why? Why do you still...
Who leaves Man City, where you're playing left back, to then play left back at Arsenal?
Zinchenko.
Yeah. I think
the only way he plays left back is if Tierney has a horror season in terms of injuries. And people have been saying, I know this injury thing is a problem for Tierney, but he still started 22 Premier League games last season. It's not 10. It's not even 15. He still started 22 of them. So if he's fit, he is going to be playing. And I think Zinchenko is then going to play in midfield.
He's going to offer some serious competition to Kieran Tierney. I mean, even when Kieran Tierney is fully fit, this is a guy that is going to offer serious competition. It's not going to be a given for Kieran Tierney, would you say?
I would argue Zinchenko's better on the ball than Tierney. I think because he's a natural midfielder, he has more quality. I think Tierney's better defensively. But I feel like Zinchenko will tick the boxes more of what Arteta wants out of a fullback. So, listen, like you were saying yesterday, we need competition. It can't be, we've got him, so we can't buy him. We need two good players fighting for the same spot. That's what the best teams do.
All right, so you can see what we all said back then. But I just want to say this. Was I actually wrong? When you think about the way he's played, the positions he's adopted, we're going to look at that in a sec. Was I actually wrong about what I said about Zinchenko playing in midfield? Yeah, no, I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. He hasn't played a single minute in midfield. He is absolutely 100% come in and been a left back for this team. So fair enough, Robbie. Fair enough. I'll give you that one. There's still quite a lot of the season to go, so I'm not quite ready to give up on the bet, but I think I'm just holding on to a thread here at this point. But look, he has played predominantly as a left back. We saw that in the first pre-season. Well, the first kind of big pre-season game where we started to see the first 11 go out regularly against Chelsea. He started left back in that game in Orlando, same against Sevilla, and then it's carried on through pretty much any time he's been fit, because he has had a few fitness issues. He's not always been available, but when he has, he's been picked. Didn't play for a good month and a half, missed about 9-10 games. Chelsea away, Stamford Bridge, massive game. Who's into the 11? It's Zinchenko immediately. So Arteta's clearly seen a role for him. What Curtis said there was absolutely spot on about him maybe being more the profile of left back that Arteta's looking for. And I was sitting there thinking, I can't believe that he would leave Man City, where he was playing left back at times, to play left back at Arsenal. But I guess that might speak to the want and need and desire to play more week in, week out. I think that's a big thing Arsenal can offer that City weren't offering him. But I think also speaks to the love he has for this club and his determination to be a success here. And maybe it doesn't matter to him whether it's as a left back or in midfield. He's got his part to play. There's no question about that. So let's analyse a little bit why he's got such a massive part to play and how that looks by taking it to the tactical part. Now, what I've got here is a starting 11 from last season that we saw quite often. That sees White at centre-back with Gabriel, that sees Smith Rowe out on the left, and that sees Xhaka and Partey a little bit closer together in midfield with Odegaard more in the 10. But the principles that Arteta wanted to display were always still there in the way they would shape up, moving into a sort of 2-3-5 like we see here. Now, we've got Granit Xhaka dropping a little bit deeper into one of those three deep-lying playmaking positions that Zinchenko picks up a lot. And in the absence of a Zinchenko, Tierney was bombing forward a lot, providing the width. Smith Rowe coming in because we know he's a sort of a wide player that plays 10. I think he's comparable to Grealish in the areas he wants to pick up the ball and the way he wants to play in that wide area as well. But we did see that evolve a little bit here. As Tierney started to tuck in more, Xhaka moved higher up the pitch, started to play his football in the final third a little bit more. And Smith Rowe would pull out wide. We saw that in the Villa Park game when we won 1-0 in the absence of Martinelli. But as I mentioned there, Martinelli did start to come into the 11 and become the regular. Smith Rowe with a couple injury issues, but also Martinelli playing at a level that was quite simply, undroppable. He was playing so when he was developing into that role, and as a natural wide player was doing it brilliantly. Then it evolved further as William Saliba returned. This is the start of the 22-23 season, which saw White come to right back, and Tierney, having injury issues, meant Zinchenko started, and Lacazette left the club, and Gabriel Jesus came in. And then you had what is more the starting 11 we see now. But while sometimes it's a 2-3-5 in possession, we do see that often, we also see, let's bring this forward, we also see this a lot, which is Zinchenko tucking in next party. Now, this offers a lot of things for Arteta and this Arsenal team in terms of the way they build up and control games. First and foremost, you basically see, let's show it here, you basically see Arsenal controlling this area of the pitch. Let's show it in yellow. A lot more. The midfield, because it's incredibly congested. You've got Zinchenko there alongside Partey. You've got Xhaka who's able to go higher, wide and left. You've got Odegaard coming high, wide and right. And Jesus is dropping into the space. They're able to control that area so well. The only way an opposition could match Arsenal realistically is for maybe their striker to drop in, their wingers to come really central. It's a really difficult area of the pitch to stop Arsenal playing when Zinchenko's there, and that's why we've seen Arsenal have so much control at Stamford Bridge and Old Trafford when Zinchenko's playing in this Arsenal team. The other thing it does is ensure that Thomas Partey, let's highlight him here, isn't being suffocated in midfield. Villarreal, when they beat us in the Europa League semi-final a couple of years ago, they targeted Thomas Partey and stopped him playing. And often that's been the way to stop Arsenal before this. Now that you've got a Zinchenko in there, you've naturally got two avenues to play through for Gabriel to get the ball into a Zinchenko. Same for Saliba to get the ball into a Zinchenko, as well as Partey. You're not just focusing on one player. I think that's been a massive thing for Arsenal as well. It's also allowed the front five to express themselves. You see Granit Xhaka amongst the goals now, getting goals running into the penalty area like we see in the Europa League, like we saw at Southampton. Odegaard, our top goal scorer. The front five are allowed to express themselves and they're sharing the goals between them because Zinchenko has helped give us that kind of extra quality, that extra composure, that extra number in midfield. And as well as doing all that, he's an overlapping option as well. And I think this is what Curtis was alluding to in terms of, yes, everything I've just mentioned being more the profile that Arteta wants in that sort of fullback area, but also he's got that ability to, because he's left-footed, because he's got that quality in the final third to deliver, he can overlap like we see with this little bit of quality here against Wolves. It's Martinelli who goes to the back heel and Zinchenko picks up the ball, drives and gets it into the box. Couple shots, ricochets later, and Odegaard is there to bury it and we're 2-0 up. So Zinchenko can do a little bit of everything in that role, and he does it with so much quality and class because of his versatility. That's something I think that Arteta has loved. His press resistance is a part of that as well. He doesn't mind getting the ball and driving through players and then passing it after he's taken on 2 or 3 and offloading it to someone else. He's brilliant at doing that, and I think he's been the complete article. Now Tierney is a brilliant left back option. Tomiyasu's been superb when he's filled in there as well. But do they have that overall package that Zinchenko has? There might be certain things they do better than Zinchenko, but I think Zinchenko is overall everything Arteta might be looking for in that role. Now, I still believe he might get minutes in midfield one day, but I'm losing hope with that when I see against Wolves, Xhaka comes off injured. Rather than bringing on Tierney, it's Vieira he looks to. We're still being linked to midfielders. He's still got Smith Rowe to return. He's playing in that area. I actually just think that I'm going to have to accept defeat on this one. Robbie's got this one right. He's coming in to be the left back that, as Curtis said, Arteta has absolutely looked for. And his numbers from left back per game, and this is according to FB Ref, only tell the story more when you compare it to other kind of left-sided central midfielders and their numbers. Now, he's not the best in any of these categories, but the fact that he's comparable, I think, is a big thing. In terms of expected assists, he's on 0.11 to Gundogan's 0.18. He's got more than Thiago, 0.1. He's got more than Kovacic's 0.1. And only Eriksen with 0.16 has got, and Gundogan, have a better number tally per game than Zinchenko. In terms of key passes, he doesn't rank higher than the other four I've mentioned, but still a respectable 0.64 per game. In terms of passing into the final third with 6.6, that is more than Gundogan, less than Thiago, less than Kovacic, but more than Eriksen as well. And in terms of passing to the penalty area, 1.13 to Gundogan's 1.62, more than Thiago as well, level with Kovacic, and more than Eriksen. These are midfielders, guys, whose jobs is to create, to get into pockets, sometimes drop deeper, sometimes get into the final third, make things happen, do it across the pitch. But from left back, Zinchenko is matching them. That is the influence he can have in this position he's picking up. So, is he playing in midfield areas? Yes, he is. But he's doing it from left back because ultimately when that team drops into a shape, that's where he's defending from, that's where he's moving from to get into midfield and give Arsenal those overloads. He has been absolutely massive. And when you look at the Southampton Leeds performances where we drew at Southampton, we won at Leeds, we scored a goal each in those games, Arsenal never looked like they really had the control they wanted. And you think, is that tiredness? Is that Arsenal just... it's been a pretty condensed season, a lot of games, Europa League to contest with. Is that what it is? Well, they go to Stamford Bridge, they go to Wolves, and they absolutely control those games from minute 1 to 90. 2 clean sheets, goals as well, and just looking a far superior team than the opposition. And it's with Zinchenko starting a left back in those games. So I just think he's been a massive part of this team, a massive part of how much Arsenal have improved. And like I said in the title, he's improved our midfield quite literally from left back. So to conclude, I think Curtis and Robbie were spot on in that welcome video, and I was wrong. But the qualities that I thought he'd bring, we're seeing him just in a different way. But what a signing he's been, and hopefully he can just stay on the right side of these fitness issues. We can keep him fit, we can keep him in that team more regularly, and I'm sure Arsenal can continue to have a really amazing season. We'll leave it there, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. What have you made of Zinchenko this season? Where is his future? Is it as a left back? Do you see him eventually evolving into midfield? I've lost hope with that, but maybe some of you haven't. And how good a sign has he been? Rate him out of 10. I think he's been a 10 so far. 9 because of the fitness issues. But if you're going purely on performances, he's been unreal. Look forward to seeing more of him. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and we'll catch you on the next one. Many, many thanks.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.